Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I don't want to just do an unboxing because there are actually lots of unboxing videos for Beyond Valor. It's been out for a few years, and so that means I am very much behind on anything related to Advanced Squad Leader. And the thing is, the reason why I wanted to make this video was not just to do a typical onboarding or a gameplay or anything like that, because I know really very little about Advanced Squad Leader. A lot of what I know is things that I've gotten from watching other videos on YouTube, and this is a game I said to myself I just won't bother getting involved in. I've watched another podcast I like or listen to and watch when they do their YouTube videos, which I haven't looked at in a while to see if they're still putting out content, but it was like the 2 half squads. And I know there was a couple times I was watching through like their Google chat, and they talked to me a few times, asked me questions, and I was like, yeah, never played Advanced Squad Leader. Never really had a big interest. It just is too much. And I said to myself, I probably will never play it. I don't know anyone who plays it, so I have no one to teach me. Yes, there's, like I said, a lot of videos, lots of things that could probably help walk a person through it. Starter kits. They have the 4th starter kit number 4 rules are on the Multiman Publishing website. You can download, read through it. So it's not like there isn't an availability of rules. Or play aids and things like that. I just didn't have a desire. I know probably back in late 80s, I was probably 15 or 16, somewhere in there. And I remember I had bought from Avalon Hill, I picked up MBT, and I think there was a couple other games from Avalon Hill at the time that I got, which were fine. I mean, they were cool, I thought. And I remember went to the game store again, and they had Advanced Squad Leader in a binder. So I'm assuming that was probably 1st edition. And I bought it, brought it home, and I was like, okay, now what do I do? I didn't realize you had to have an additional module for counters and maps and things, and that the binder was just rules. I thought that was a really cool way of storing a game. So I took it back. I just knew nobody at the time that really did war games except my basic interest, and ever since I just had no desire to look into that. Years and years later, I had a friend. I went over to his place, and we had played a game, and we didn't really quite enjoy it. And so he was like, well, hey, next time we get together, why don't we play Squad Leader? And I was like, well, okay, it's Squad Leader. He has the boxes, and it's not Advanced Squad Leader, so let's check it out. And I just thought it was an amazing gaming experience. I was like, this is fantastic. I want a copy. And I went looking for rules. I found there's a Facebook group that have charts and things you can download from Squad Leader. And this is like the chart that came in the basic Squad Leader box, and you run the whole game off of that. So I'm sure if you're an Advanced Squad Leader player, you're probably thinking, that's it? Well, that's kind of what I thought, because playing some like Lock and Load Tactical, even that tends to have a bunch of charts and things. But I was like, wow, this is it? But it gave a good game. We did the guard counterattack scenario, and I was like, this is great. I like the sequence of play, the alternating phases here. Even the kill chart's okay. I think I want to get the interval fire charts, because what do I do about 9, 10, and 11? One thing I've read some people don't like about Advanced Squad Leaders when they try to math it too much, so you always end up with perfect numbers, like a 20 and a 16. So you never end up with an 18 or something to waste points, which, but that incremental fire table will take care of that. But anyway, I thought, this is amazing. So I immediately went to the internet and started looking for copies of Squad Leader. And there's a bunch. But the thing is, they're all used. And I'm like, why would I want to get a used copy? I mean, that'd be great, I'd have it. but there's no guarantee it will have all the pieces, and I know sellers want good reputations, so they will, try to be honest with what they have. And so even if it's in, pretty good quality and all the pieces are there, the fact is it's somebody else's creases and bends in the paper, or, coffee stains, or aged with, yellow to aged paper. And I was like, gosh, there's got to be a way you can get something new. So I did think about, maybe get a starter kit and try that way. But cost-wise, this is an expensive game. And I mean, just this starter box was like $130. I'm sure if you look in the right place, you can find it cheap. But I was like, I found this, and after shipping and handling, it's $150. There's a lot in it, and I'll probably play a lot. But I thought, well, if you just get the starter kit, I mean, wow, that's $20. Well, it's like $28 for starter kit 1, and then the next one's like, 35 or something like that, and they just incrementally get more expensive. And I think they said number 4 was like, almost $60. So if you buy all 4, again, right there in starter kits, it's like $200. So this is a dedication. And as I was thinking, I was like, well, I mean, as much as I like this, the squad leader, but I wouldn't mind getting new. But it's so expensive to get the rules, because that's a binder, is like $100. But the binder seems out of print, so now they're using pocket manuals, and even those sets of the pocket manuals are kind of pricey. It was like, where do I find the balance? And so that's where I was like, wait a minute. As I was reading through starter kit number 4, in the beginning, one of the things that it says is, like when you learn some of the infantry, it actually says you can ignore some of the information on the counters. Like, don't worry about the underlined values. Just focus on these things that we're mentioning. And I said to myself, wait a minute. If I can ignore some pieces of information on the counter, then I could ignore a lot of stuff that doesn't pertain if I just play with the squad leader rules. Now, I know I cannot be the first person to think of this, to use squad leader rules with new counters. So now I have new counters, new scenarios. None of the paperwork is aged yellow and coffee stains and things like that. It's all new, but I got rules and a quick reference card. I can just use the pieces with squad leader, because the counters have those 3 values. So you got like the firepower, range, morale, and then they inherently have a certain amount of movement points, and the rules are available, so I can play just using the whole squad leader system and use brand new counters. Plus, this allows me to get access to things that aren't available with just plain old squad leader, because squad leader had the Crescendo of Doom, the GI Anvil, Cross of Iron, but they didn't have like Pacific Theater of Operations. And I have a friend who's really wanting to play some Pacific Theater, but they didn't make it for squad leader. And when I was looking, it seems like the Japanese expansion alone is, depending on where you got it, can get it. It's like almost $200 just for that. And then if you need the Gung Ho, there's another $100. I'm sure I might be not completely correct on the prices, but in order to get your full set, it's pretty expensive. But I mean, that's what I'm facing, is if I want to get Pacific Theater for my friend, it's gonna be pricey. But easy to learn. See, that's where I was going. I can play all of that without having to spend my life dedicated to learning how to play Advanced Squad Leader. Now, I can, if I want, slowly move in and incorporate elements from Advanced Squad Leader. And like I said, I could just download the starter kit rules number 4 from the Multiman Publishing site and start in that way learning Advanced Squad Leader. So I've given myself options. So I said to myself, well, I tell you what, I don't have to jump head first into full Advanced Squad Leader. I can buy the kits I want and I can start learning Squad Leader, and then if I truly am enjoying the system, I can branch out. So that's where we're at. Now this particular copy, it turns out that there's a lot of copies. So this is like the 3rd edition. It had like a really long name. 3rd edition, second printing, 2021 edition. So, you know, this has some reprints in there. So I'm hoping this is the most current one. And again, this is probably not really different than anything you've seen before. It's probably just the fact that they've had to hit the reprint button a few times to get everything you need. And I think this is a pretty thick box. I watched someone make a comment. There's a game called Case Blue, which had a pretty thick box, but I said, this is pretty big too. So this is a huge module. And again, it's no rules, but you know, I got rules to play with, so I'm okay with that. Here is the pink slip. So we are dedicated to perfection. There's customer service. Let us know if you have any problems. There's the contents there. Yeah, very happy. I've watched lots of unboxing from, you know, MMP and some other companies, and I'm pretty impressed with what they do. You know, for 130 bucks, I think there's quite a bit of content in here. Now, I did watch on a video that they kind of alternate placing like a counter sheet map or something. Someone said it had something to do with preventing rubbing on components. I'm not quite sure why they stack it the way they do, but I think this is going to be the same way. Yeah, it looks like there's like a map or two and then some counters and another map or two. So I'm really not sure why they alternate layers, but we do have quite a few scenarios. The product description said that a lot of these scenarios have been seen before, but corrections with like some errata applied to them. What do we got? So this is fighting withdrawal. Now this is something I didn't know at the time, because I did watch someone do an unboxing for Beyond Valor, that I didn't realize it had not all the finish. There's another expansion for the finish, but my son, we're Finnish. My grandfather and grandmother came from Finland, and so my son is just obsessed with Finland and, you know, the White Death, Winter Sniper, and all kinds of stuff. And so when I heard that this has some Finnish, I was like, well, maybe I could get my son to play, because I could play the Soviets and he can play the Finnish. So I thought he might be interested in that. So I didn't realize that was a part of Beyond Valor. So it's cool. It's the Russians, and it has Germans, and it has the Finnish. So that, and I didn't realize the very first scenario was with the Finnish. So this is very cool. Now I don't have any familiarity with the scenarios at all, other than the fact that, you know, there's a bunch. So I have a bunch of playability in here. And I think someone mentioned, or I read somewhere, that you can get Guard's counterattack for Advanced Squad Leader, like off the internet. And I was thinking about grabbing that, because that's the very first scenario I ever played, like a lot of people. And I wouldn't mind having it for Advanced Squad Leader. I might have to purchase a board that would work with it, but it's amazing you can purchase a lot of the boards separately so you can get all the maps. So cool, win. And, you know, playing with just Squad Leader isn't too bad, because, you know, here's 6 counters, you know, just playing with Squad Leader rules. You know, like I said, the basic numbers are there. I don't need to worry about underlined values. Here's, you know, the machine guns and things. Now, there might be a little bit of a, you know, a conversion problem maybe. Not too bad, because I know they have the portage points and things like that for Advanced Squad Leader, but these values kind of seem to play in line with Squad Leader. So there's like a 2.6, 4.10, 6.12. Well, I know that a squad could fire the 6.12 weapon, like that 6 would be the penetration value, and they wouldn't fire their inherent firepower system. that is something, because I think the basic squad leader guns only went up to like a 5 as far as the portage points. So I might have to think a little bit about how to make things work. And that should be on here. I know it's on the basic one. Where's, oh, here, down here. Yeah, see, their heavy machine gun goes up to like a 5 value. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of think about how to make these weapons fit. See, like here's one with 5, but then there's a 7. So I realize there's going to have to be some tweaking to make this work with squad leader rules. I mean, obviously there's a reason why there's advanced, but gotta start somewhere. And I should have enough counters, so this should, the box, I'm told that's one thing that they really comb through the scenarios, is to make sure that, you know, if it says there's 25 of these 4.67s, I should have 25 4.67s. So that's nice. And I am actually very excited about this because I did try to get into Advanced Tobruk, and I don't know, that kind of feels hit and miss for me. I wasn't too thrilled with what I was sent. That's videos on the channel for another story, another time. But looking through here, this seems very top-notch. I don't anticipate not having enough counters. And here, red packet, this is nice. We got one squad, one leader, one machine gun, it looks like an armor leader, and 3 vehicles. Cool. That's easy. 3 squads, a leader. Okay, they got 5 little trucks there, and then 3 either bicycle units or something, motorcycles. Okay, they have a few more things, but that doesn't have a whole bunch to start with. Yeah, so this is like, I'm very, very excited to play this. I could have this out of the box, have a scenario set up, and start playing relatively quickly, just based on how user-friendly the basic squad leader rules are. Well, this is a big scenario, 26 units. I'm sure there are bigger, scenarios out there, but for me, a lot of games I play now, contemporary squad level games, you're not putting this much counters out. So this will be kind of something to get used to. Oh, it looks like another Finnish scenario on the borderline. Yeah, so yeah, some of these are pretty big. Some don't seem all that bad to get into, but there is quite a few here. I know some of you are probably like, I've played every single one of those. I know exactly what that is. But this is all brand new to me. But I'm pretty excited. But that was kind of my reasoning on getting a brand new box, is all the components are new. All the components have, they got to be punched. They're not all punched for me already. So I was pretty excited to be cracking open a new box that I could play. So yes, it will take time to get to Advanced Squad Leader, but see, that's one reason I thought Squad Leader would be a really nice, easy way to ease into, is this has infantry, flamethrowers, smoke, vehicles, all those things that I would expect for tactical level wargaming, with a nice programmed instruction to help you pop in. And yeah, my buddy, after he took just a few minutes to explain the rules, and I eventually downloaded these and read them, I'd probably have to refresh myself because I haven't played this in a couple of weeks, but I think I have a much better chance of hopping into gameplay right away than if I was to start purely with Advanced Squad Leader. And maybe the starter kits aren't that bad to learn from. So what I might do is, after I got some Squad Leader under my belt, is go ahead and download those starter kit rules number 4 set, and then I can start playing with those rules, and then learn things about like the ELR. Like, there's some things and concepts I know that are inherently important to Advanced Squad Leader that might not be touched on at all with Basic Squad Leader. But again, I would rather start slow and actually be able to play games and then add to the game as I go along. So here's a counter sheet right here. This is number 14. Looks like a lot of administrative stuff, some anti-tank rifles. I'm not sure. I can't even read what that is. Is that a Goliath? There's the little remote-controlled bombs. This is going to be a little challenging because the counters are a little bit smaller. The counters are definitely a lot uglier compared to more contemporary games. And I have to admit, that was the one thing that was probably the biggest reason why I never tried to pick up Squad Leader or Advanced Squad Leader, is because it's such an ugly game. However, the gameplay is amazing, and I have to admit that shame on me for having never really gotten into it sooner, because the gameplay itself is pretty remarkable, and when you're playing the game, the looks of the counters kind of go away. Let's see, so there's some leaders there with 3 numbers. I'm used to the leaders having like 2 numbers, so maybe those are heroes. And then some squads. Well, a 127, that's maybe just like a crew or some. I can't tell what the picture is of them doing, like manning a crew-served weapon or something. Trust me, if I can't see it like right here, I doubt you can pick it up on camera. But I think, yeah, this is some of the finish. Yeah, and I know there's probably a lot of counters I won't need for, just starting out with Squad Leader. But I'll tell you that the amount of rules used to really intimidate me when I would think about Advanced Squad Leader. Like, there's a rule for everything. However, the more that I watch some gameplay videos and learn things, it's like, but those rules have a purpose. And clearly, if you play the game long enough, you're going to have a lot of that down. So, I welcome the challenge. Now, these maps, they're okay. I know that this is the new format. They're not mounted. I had to admit, my friend with his older sets in the mounted maps are pretty cool. But, it's probably cheaper this way. More easily to produce, saves the cost for us a little bit. And they are serviceable. But I had to counter bend these a little bit so they lay flat or get some plexiglass. But otherwise it's a serviceable map. I don't think that these maps are particularly ugly. I've seen prettier maps, but those are fine. Again, I'm trying to get over the looks. It's the gameplay that counts, and these look. The game is really good. But the thing is, it's like I am really struggling with the small counters and the small text. I have to get really in there to see that that's maybe a Panzer 7? I can't tell. Or maybe just be a Panzer 6. I'm just trying to look at like the turret and tell if that's like a Tiger 2. Or, well, see, there's a Tiger. That's why I'm thinking that's a King Tiger. 88LL. So the name of the tank is hard for me to make out. Like, okay, that's a Stug 3. Yeah, I do wish the counters were bigger, but, it's the nostalgia factor. The line art is fine, and I can read the numbers. Just the name sometimes there I'm looking is a little hard to get. But otherwise, yeah, they're alright. I do enjoy seeing the unboxings for some other companies that make expansions and modules for this, and their counters are kind of have colors, and these are, very plain, but very, very traditional. Readable, for the most part. Yeah, I can see why people are like, yeah, the older I get, it's more difficult to play. I can definitely see that. But luckily, I think I can still make it work for a little bit. Alright, here's another map. Yeah. Alright, great. More map. The maps are alright. But there's a bunch of them, but lots of counters. Yeah, so now I'm part of the group that has to decide how to store these things, I've watched some videos where people can spend hundreds of dollars just in storage solutions on fancy counters and carrying trays and things like that, because there's a lot. And that's just this one box, and all the modules apparently have hundreds of counters. So my understanding is this one has quite a few for Germans, because this is like the German box that you can fight against with all the modules. So this probably has a few more counters than some of the other modules. Plus it has like all the administrative counters, is my understanding. And my understanding is as you move into other modules, those focus more on just the orders of battle counters, because the admin counter should be in this first box. So this might have a little bit more than some of the other modules. But lots of vehicles, that's for sure. I really don't know if there will be a scenario where I will use half of these counters, but we got them. I should be able to play just about any scenario out there that's Germans and Russians. I mean, I say that, but I know there's more. Because I know people buy modules for specific battles that have German counters and units for just those specific battles. But again, I should have enough to play all the scenarios in here. Yeah, and then the Russians there. Still got some Germans, looks like. You know, and I see the color here, and I don't know if that's the Finnish color. So is this like hidden units, hidden counters for the Finnish? And that's a Finnish sniper and Finnish guns and mortar. And then, you know, obviously just the level 1s for buildings must be generic, even though it's that kind of a Finn color. Yeah, and they sure did. They got like some counters and then a map. And I guess what someone was trying to explain is that when you have two counter sheets stacked, and as it rustles around in transit, that it's more abrasive to have a counter sheet and a counter sheet, and less abrasive on the counters and the ink if it's got like a softer map in between. So I don't know if that's why they're alternatively stacked, but here's a big counter sheet for Russia. Ooh, that I pushed on it and it just slid right out. Great. Yeah, I can't wait to punch these as soon as I figure out how to store them. So that'll be nice. I'm a big critic of how well things are cut and how they punch from the sprue, and then I can run through the corner rounder. What is nice though, and this is definitely a plus from Squad Leader. Squad Leader, my friend has it. It looks like they were also connected on the ends, on the edges, in addition to the corners. And here I see no connection points on the ends, just simply right there at the corners, which means after they're cut, that'll make a nice clean counter. So happy about that. I don't know, probably a lot of things I could talk about, but being able to punch these and have them round the corner, and then you don't have any frayed edges or anything, to me, that's amazing. So yeah, more, I mean, like I said, if you've seen one unboxing for this game, you've seen a lot. And the fact that I really don't know what I'm looking at, you're just looking at stuff with me. So here's another map. Cool. Got river, castle, possibly some kind of ruined fortification. Lots of woods. You know, too bad they're not double-sided, you know, but probably better that way. And again, another counter sheet. We're down to 7. We're like halfway through the counter sheets. We started at 14, and now here we are at 7. Lots of anti-tank stuff. Yeah, see, I was trying to figure out how to store the lock and load tactical stuff I had. And now I got to figure out how to store these. Some of the other games I found unique ways to store the counters, but here, yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of plastic baggies then if I'm going to do little plastic snack bags or something. I wonder if that's supposed to be part of like a bridge? Yeah, I don't know. And I can't tell. Maybe that's horses. Maybe what I thought was motorcycles at first. I think maybe it's horses. Looks like you got cavalry and like a horse-drawn wagon. Yeah, it's even a wagon. Cool. Alright. Level 2 of a building. Climbing. You haven't seen the run marker. See, that was something that I said to myself when I was looking through some videos that people played. Was like, I remember in Squad Leader, maybe it wasn't that. What was I? Oh, I know what it was. I was playing Lock and Load Tactical, and in there you can do like a double time move, and you get to move like the extra 2 movement points if you have your leader attached. And so when I hear the term double time, I'm thinking you're running. and they don't have any penalties for running back to back. So you could like double time and have your 6 movement points throughout the whole board. And, you know, okay, that's fine, but if you're going to use a term and call it double time, to me that would indicate you're purposefully exerting your troops to move them further. And from what I can see with Advanced Squad Leader, they have a similar thing, but what's cool is there's a counter that you put on a unit indicating that they just ran. So I was like, well, that makes sense to me. They're going to be a little tired, and then if you let them rest, you can take the counter off. And it's those little details that I think is very fascinating about Advanced Squad Leader. Little details, but things that make sense. So like I said, I'm very anxious to slowly, you know, move forward with my understanding so I can incorporate some of those more advanced rules. Such as, I understand there's self-rallying. Just in the little bit of Squad Leader I played, there was no self-rallying. But I understand if they have like a boxed value around their morale, that means that unit can attempt a self-rally. Cool. So it's little things like that that I wouldn't mind incorporating into the Squad Leader side of things, you know, if I could. You know, again, slowly introduce concepts, and, you know, pretty soon, after about 20 years, you're playing a full game of Advanced Squad Leader. Some more Finns, more Germans. Yeah, the gray color makes me think more of Germans than Finns, and the blue would be like French. So I know the colorings are all very following the canon of the system, going back to the 70s, and you kind of worked with the colors that you had. I know Advanced Squad Leader is like the 80s, but 77 was like, you know, when Squad Leader came out. And so a friend was trying to explain to me like, well, you know, they kind of worked with the color palettes that they had at the time. Yes, now they can do pretty full color counters, but I believe Advanced Squad Leader is kind of keeping those traditional colors, so there's like some compatibility with the original material. There you go, another map. Lots of buildings on that one. Excellent. Let's see what map number is that. That's number 1. That looks so familiar. Is this the map for the Guards' counterattack? There's buildings, and it's like, why does that kind of remind me of that? And then scenario 2 is here, and then they have like a hybrid where you play both maps together. That just kind of looks like it. I'll have to see. I could be completely wrong, but if that is, that's cool. Let's see here. Oh, you know, aha! It did say there's 4 dice, and here they are. There they are. 4 dice. All right, more. Looks like some more Finns. No APCR. Okay, so we're out of ammo, out of smoke. More Germans. That's counter sheet 3. Oh my gosh, so many counter sheets. Here is counter sheet 2. Now this is interesting. I did notice on some of the counter sheets this had a printing year of 2015. This has 2018. So this definitely has a mixture of printed material. So this is probably very, very up to date then. And then see, like right here, this one's 2015. So, you know, I guess run out of some, reprint others, and then, you know, gotta stamp the year. So this has of several years worth of material in it. Cool. And then a whole bunch of admin. Some turrets, your prep fire, desperation morale, which is in Squad Leader as well, but I don't remember shock. I don't remember pinned. But the thing is, though, when I played Squad Leader with my buddy, you know, I only went to section 31 or 21, which was enough to play the first scenario. So there's still a lot of things that I have not played with yet. So I don't know, maybe as you get further along, there is a pinned rule for squad. So instead of just being broken, you can pin them. You know, but I could be wrong. But see, it's got upper levels, the buildings. You know, a lot of the concepts look like they're in here, but clearly, you know, a much smaller rule set to get you started. Let's see, encircled. Yeah, Berserk, Heroes, Wall. Man, so many things I'm looking at going, yeah. It'll probably be a while before I play with any of those particular counters. But there it is. Yeah, I've also saw when they were playing, when I saw some people play, they would roll like 3 dice because like one of the dice represented a sniper, and so there's some color codes that might be important with advanced squad leader. Could play in with squad leader because squad leader has snipers, but not quite sure how different the rules are. But there it is. That's gonna be my adventure and journey into the squad leader / advanced squad leader side of things. We're going to start with this module, Beyond Valor. So I have Russians and Germans and some maps and scenarios, all in brand new, crisp, pristine shape and condition. And then I can use basic squad leader rules to start learning some concepts like the turn sequence. And as I play and get comfortable, I can slowly start to either switch over to the starter kit rules, but I'll still have components to play with, and eventually maybe switch over to the full advanced squad leader rules. And that could take years. But my reasoning, which I know I've kind of mentioned the idea a couple times, is I've read so many times where people would post, hey, it's been a few years, but I have now, my power's getting loose, but they say things like, I've been playing for a couple years and I have graduated from infantry. And I'm thinking, seriously? You're playing the game for years before you're even touching infantry? But after about 3 scenarios, I'm going to have infantry, vehicles, and all of that stuff. So why not start out simple, simple, simple? Again, starter kit has vehicles. If you get starter kit 3, then you'll have the vehicles and, the guns. I just don't know how easy it is to incorporate that all into one package when, some other games have all of those elements from the get-go fairly simple. So that was one reason I never really wanted to hop into Advanced Squad Leader, because I just never thought that I could devote years to only learning the infantry rules and then still watch all these gameplay videos and people keep pointing out mistakes they make. So it is a dedicated system for sure, but that's how I plan to start into it. Use the brand new components and eventually work the rules up from basic squad leader so I can just at least play something, and then eventually move on to advanced. Well, that's been a long unboxing. That's been kind of my thought process and where I'm going and where I'm coming from. So if you have any comments or things that you'd like to share about Advanced Squad Leader or Squad Leader, let me know. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on it. Tell me, I'm just curious, what's your story? Why do you play Advanced Squad Leader? Or why did you get out? Trust me, I have plenty of people telling me over the years when I do Band of Brothers or Old School Tactical or Lock and Load, and they say, these are the games why I got out of Advanced Squad Leader, because I can read the components, they're big. But then I have some people say, those are the games that drive them to Advanced Squad Leader because it has that realism that feels to be missing from other game sets. So at the end of the day, it's a game. So what do you think? And I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.